So today we're here to cover 2-foot high kick and seal hop trainings for junior NYO. We'll go ahead and cover 2-foot first, watch video tutorials. Kyle will provide us with a demonstration. We'll do the same thing for seal hop, video tutorial, demonstration. After each events videos, we'll go ahead and have time for questions, and at the very end we'll have more time for questions. So I will go ahead and get you guys started with our 2-foot high kick demonstrations that were done by Nike and Seven. Please let me know if this pauses or freezes at any time. It shouldn't.
This event is called the 2-foot high kick. Kay will start by standing approximately an arm's length away from the string with her fists closed. The ball height is set at approximately mid-height. This is a good starting height. From here, she will jump off of 2 feet, kick with both feet, and land on both feet, maintaining her balance after she kicks. She must keep her feet even. They can be together or apart or connected right at the heels. When she jumps, she should be jumping straight up, bringing her knees and feet up towards the ball, and then landing on both feet, maintaining her balance either by sticking it or hopping around until she has control of her landing. It should look like this. After each successful attempt, the ball is raised approximately 4 inches at a time. Every time the ball is raised, Kay gets 3 attempts. She can also take a step or 2 back, but she must continue to jump off of both feet at the same time, kick with both feet, and land on both feet. You'll see here Andrew is using his arms, exploding off of his feet, bringing his knees up to his chest, extending his legs and feet up to the ball, while pushing his arms back down, then back up to help keep his balance as he hops until he catches his balance. Here's an example of a successful kick where both feet are even. Compare it to this, where both feet are not even, resulting in an unsuccessful attempt. The 2-foot high kick was used as a form of communication. A messenger from the hunting crew would run back towards the village. When he had the village in sight, he would do the 2-foot high kick, thus signaling to the village that the hunters had been unsuccessful.
And while that's a great reporting and tutorial for a 2-foot high kick, it is very advanced. So I also have available our 2-foot high kick that we recorded in-house at Cook Inlet Tribal Council with a junior athlete, that I will go ahead and share with you guys as well. This is more of what your athletes would look like versus Andrew in our in that last video that I just showed you.
Two-foot high kick. Harry is going to start by standing in front of the ball about an arm's length away with his fist closed. From here, he puts his arms down, jumps off of both feet, kicks the ball, keeping his feet even and parallel. After he kicks the ball, he lands on both feet at the same time, keeping his balance by sticking his landing or hopping around until he catches his balance. This is what it should look like. After each successful kick, the ball is raised 4 inches higher. That's the 2-foot high kick.
Standing in front of. And Kyle, did you want to roll into the training?
Sure.
Instruction?
Yeah.
I'll spotlight you.
Okay. 2-foot high kick. This is a fun game for, I think, any level, juniors to adults. It's a good starting game. I think it takes a little bit less coordination than 1-foot high kick because you don't have to think about landing on one foot or the other. Good starting height for beginners is around knee height. You can go a little bit lower, knee to shin height. And we always begin with, first step is to measure your distance. So this is the string. I know it's kind of hard to see in the zoom. So by putting your arms out, the string should be right at your wrist. That's a good distance. From here, you can jump. A lot of times for younger kids, we tell them to put their feet together. You don't necessarily have to have your feet together when you're taking off, but for younger kids, it helps them learn to keep their feet together in the air. So jumping off 2 feet, kick, land, maintaining balance. Sorry, put it down more so you can see. And get them used to hopping. So this is what I mean by hopping. After they kick, hop back, even if they feel like they're balanced. A lot of younger kids try to kick it and then try to immediately land and maintain that balance. It's a good habit just to always kick it and hop back. Because as they start kicking higher heights, it's going to be really hard to plant your landing every time. As the ball gets higher, we try to teach the kids to raise their knees to their chest. So again, I could measure, and if I'm going to do a running approach, I can still measure and take a mental note of where I want to run up to. So run up to it, and I'm going to bring my knees up. So watch this time. This is a good habit to start teaching them, to bend at the knees, because if I do this straight-legged, I'm going to do it straight-legged. What's going to happen in order to balance and compensate your weight going straight out, you have to lean forward. And so this is what it looks like straight-legged. So straight-legging means you have to fold in half, which is going to prevent your legs from coming up. If your torso is coming down, your legs are going to be stopped by your torso. So that's why we try to teach knees to the chest. And for me, I don't even kick. I just do knees to the chest probably until it gets above my head do I actually try to kick the ball. It's just bringing my knees up. So at this height, I just tucked them in. I didn't even really do a kick. I saved that kick for the higher heights. You're probably not going to get junior NYO athletes doing much of that, but it's a good habit to start teaching. Trying to tuck the knees in. 2-foot high kick. Any questions?
There was one question. Cheryl, I think, said that growing up measuring was done from body to the ball because someone could have a longer torso. Have you heard of that one?
Body to
Maybe like their torso, their hips to the ball.
Shirley, did you want to I'm not sure I understand if you wanted to share a little bit more instead of to the wrist. So this is to the wrist, and you said to the.
Yeah, instead of wrist to string, it was body to, what part of the body, the fingers to the ball?
Their fingers. When we do 1 foot, we tell them to measure to fingers. And then when we do 2 foot, we tell them to measure to wrist. And this is like a general piece of advice because people have different body proportions. And the reason I think we change it to wrist is because we're trying to emphasize bending at the knees. So if I were to kick this straight-legged, I might do it measuring to the fingers. But if I were to learn how to bend my knees and kick, you would want to be about wrist or even closer. So it depends on the body and it depends on the style of kicking too, but good to point that out.
The next question was, do you have any suggestions for helping kids learn to bend and tuck the knees? Any special tricks that will help them learn the muscle memory?
Some of the exercises we do in our practice, I'll show you them. So 2 foot is core intensive. And so you can teach kids leg tucks like this. And this is building core. Sometimes we do straight-legged just for a different type of core. Not that you're supposed to kick straight-legged, but you want to do variations in your workouts. But this is a good example of knees to the chest. And in their warm-ups, you can do the knee hugs, knee to the chest. Start building that flexibility. Sometimes not everybody has the flexibility to bring their knees to the chest, so it's something you need to work on, building flexibility. Good questions.
Yeah, any other questions? And feel free, you can speak on the camera as well, or continue putting your questions in the chat. Either one will work.
Do you have, can I share?
Yeah, I think oh, there we go. You can go ahead and share now.
So I'm going to show you a couple slides. And let me find it first. So a few things we look at when coaching this, and this is maybe a bit more advanced than the junior level, but it's something good to think about. Slideshow is the arms. The arms are really important. Oh. Slideshow, I try to. Oops, okay. So can you see this slide? Okay, from the left side is kind of what we see sometimes with beginners is a elbow thrust. And so there's no full extension. In order to really utilize the momentum of your arms, you want to swing them. So the middle picture, that's my brother, is Sage. He has kind of a partial extension. And then this one on the right-hand side, this is me. I've been doing it a long time. And so you can see I come all the way back and then throw my arms straight up to the ball. That's a full extension. That's what you're striving for. And with a lot of junior athletes, sometimes they're still learning their body and they'll put their hands in their pocket because they're shy trying a new game, but you got to let them loose. Tell them no, nothing in their hands. Don't put their hands in their pocket or hold anything. Their arms need to be free to be able to swing, building that momentum. So arms are important. This is a visual of why we do the knee tuck, because when you bring your knee to your chest, you're making a much quicker kick or arc compared to a straight-legged kick, much larger arc. And then this is examples of knees tucked. So the example on the left side is straight-legged. You could see how the boy has to lean forward to compensate. A partial tuck of the knees, where he's bringing his knees about waist level. And then the full tuck is like advanced level. You could see his knees are all the way to his chest before he kicks. So we call that the tuck. And this affects your arms. And so the straight-legged beginner form on the left, you can see the arms are almost parallel to the legs. When you get to intermediate form, they start counterbalancing. And then the advanced form, you're making an X in the air with your arms and legs. They're offsetting each other, because if you want your legs above your head, your arms need to come down to balance. All right, so those few slides I want to show.
Can you share those with us, Kyle?
Yes, I can. I have it in a Google Drive, so I can. It's a big file, but so I have it in a Google Drive, and
If we put our Google or Gmail on there, will that work? Or our Google Drive, like our.
here, test this out. I put the link in the chat box. It has information for all 10 games, so not just the one from today. It's actually like 70 slides long. And it needs some updates, but it has some cool stuff in it. Did that open?
I was able to open it, yes.
Okay. There's some videos in there that I'm trying to figure out how to, it'll say you need permission, and I'm trying to figure out how to take that permission off. Because there's some good coaching videos in there as well.
And I am just gonna, does anyone have any other questions around tips and tricks for 2 foot specifically? Anything else maybe that you want to see Kyle do again, or elaborate more on? If not, I'm going to go ahead and show you a video of what the 2 foot submission should look like. This was actually one that Nicole recorded for one of the athletes that she was coaching for last year. And basically it's, we want to be able to see the full submission, or sorry, the full attempt and full measurement and the floor, ball to floor, and seeing that it was measured correctly. Let me go ahead and rewind and share with you.
You're muted, Adele.
I was saying, very simple, just being able to see the measurements and the athlete's full attempt is what Nicole is looking for 2 foot high kick. We'll go ahead and move on to our seal hop. I will be going ahead and showing the girls tutorial at the advanced level, just because most junior NYO athletes, I think, have more of this form. But do let me know if you want to see the more advanced level for it. I'd be happy to share. And I'm not going to expand the screen just because I'm seeing that I'm having issues or connection issues. So it's going to stay small, somewhat small.
Hey, Adele, Bill
Yeah.
Peter. If I am correct, all JNYO participants do the girls seal hop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next event is called the girls seal hop. An athlete will start by lying on the floor with her fingers behind the line. Her feet are together and toes are tucked underneath. The official will say, ready, up. She must keep her body straight from her shoulders to her heels. If her bottom comes up above her shoulders, she's given 2 verbal warnings. On her 3rd verbal warning, she is stopped while she is hopping. The athletes measured from the start line to where they are stopped. The athlete who hops the furthest distance wins the event. Ready? Up, hop. Hopping on both hands and feet, if the athlete reaches the other end of the gym, they turn around without pausing or stopping until they can no longer hop. That is the girls seal hop. So you'll see here that Kay is jumping off both her hands and feet at the same time and keeping her hips below her shoulders while she's hopping. There are 2 types of turnarounds when you reach the turnaround point. Kay is doing the traditional style, turning around without pausing or pivoting until she returns to a forward moving motion. The second way to turn around, you will see as Andrew crosses over the line, he pushes back without pausing or pivoting until he returns to a forward moving motion. The seal hop was played to help build strength and endurance to pain while they hop along the ice, imitating the motion of a seal. And when they got close enough to the seals taking naps on the ice, they would grab their harpoon off their back and harpoon the seals.
I'm also going to go ahead and also show you the seal hops tutorial that we did in-house with Cooking the Tribal Council. And this is another same junior athlete from the last one. There you go.
All right, this is a seal hop. Harry's gonna start by placing his hands behind the line. When he's ready, he's gonna get in a push-up position, keeping his body straight from his shoulders to his heels. When he's ready, he's gonna start hopping on both hands and feet at the same time, as far forward as he can without stopping. It should look like this. When Harry's done hopping, we place the tape to the top of the fingers. We'll measure from that piece of tape to the start line. That is the seal hop.
So let's see. Kyle, I'll probably end up spotlighting you, but like Nicole said in the video there, the seal hop for junior is measured from the fingertips of the athlete. Kyle, you want to give us little tips and tricks and training on seal hop?
Sure. So something I noticed in the video of Henry, and if I were there coaching him, I could see there was a lot of effort in trying to hop vertically. And so what you really want to put your energy is into going forward as you're hopping. And a lot of athletes forget about their feet. So half the power, you have your arms pushing, your hands pulling, but half the power is coming from your feet, pushing with the toes, having them together. So I always tell my athletes to put their feet together too, because sometimes kids will have them apart or skewed, but if they're together, they're going to push as one single force in time. So let's see. So pushing with the feet. Let me move the cake stand. And you could practice doing like toe lifts. It's pretty much the same action. Toe lifts. You could go for endurance, see how many toe lifts you could do, because that's what you're doing on the floor, is pushing with those feet. The other thing to work on is endurance. And so sometimes we'll have a set length. Maybe it's the entire length of the gym, that the object for that athlete is to go the entire length of the gym, and they just go until they collapse. They collapse and let themselves rest 5 to 10 seconds and get up and go again, and collapse when they're out of energy, get up and go again, count down from 5 or from 10, and keep doing that till they make it to the end of a set length. Maybe it's the length of a gym, or maybe that's too long, maybe half a gym, whatever you think the athlete's capable of, but it's teaching endurance. So they're learning to push themselves when they're already burnt out of energy. So I don't have a lot of screen room to show you, but let's say I've been hopping. Coach counts down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I got to get up again. I can only go that far. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you keep doing that until you meet a set distance. That's a good way to teach endurance. Seal hop is all about endurance. And this is just one of those games that takes practice. I don't see many athletes that come out and can just seal hop 100 feet. It's something that takes training and practice. It's a little bit different than the high kicking games, where sometimes you just get those athletes that immediately can kick over their head. Seal hop is something that takes some practice. Let me see if there's questions.
There was one question on how to measure. I do have one video that I am going to share, that I can share now, that I have seen is the best way to measure. And here you'll see, before I start it, you'll see that they already have the tape measure laying down, and the athlete is hopping next to it. This is a minute long. I'm going to start it, and then I'm going to kind of move forward.
Okay, this is Brielle Cole from Makatans Elementary in the Matsuboro School District, and we are doing seal hop. Ready when you are.
Oh, forward here. I'm getting tired.
All right, nice work, kiddo. Good job. All right. Yeah, you were.
There you could kind of see that, you know, she slid a little bit, her hand might have moved, but I still feel like this video, you know, this method of measuring for seal hop has been the best and most consistent that I've seen, versus having to, if you do have the long ruler, having to lay it out during or right after the attempt, making the video longer or, you know, all jumbled, but this is the cleanest way. And does anyone have any questions around the measuring part? More questions? And Cheryl, I do see your comment, you know, be careful because smaller schools can have smaller gyms. Yes, that is also why we require the tape measure, being able to see the measurement where it starts and where it ends. If they do end up turning around, you know, you will have to show the measurement for the end of the gym and then back to where they go. But you know, we will have to see those for them to qualify to, you know, be in the finals. But seal hop's pretty straightforward. It's like you said, it was endurance. It's a lot of, you know, my son always tries. Always jumping vertically. Does anyone have any questions on seal hop? I don't think so. I think we're covered. Does anyone have any questions outside? Well, not specifically to training for 2-foot and seal hop, but maybe to submissions, to.
Adele, this is Maria. I have a quick question. So when they're doing the seal hop, if we see them make a mistake, do we stop them at that point and measure, or are they just eliminated?
Stop them at that point and measure, I think is the best bet.
No 2 warnings then?
Oh, no, you should still do the warnings.
Okay.
Yes, but yes, warnings. Warnings, but if they've reached their warning limits, then you should stop them. JNYO, I believe Nicole is more lenient on these with the warnings and form. So we don't need to be too harsh on them. Kind of like weightlifting. Oh, their forms, yes. Let them build their forms before breaking them, right? And breathing out of the nose, out through the nose, yes. Especially for such a high endurance, full body workout. I do agree. Oh, someone's in the waiting room. Does anyone have any questions about score sheets? Submitting? I believe everyone has their submission links. Everyone should have score sheets. Go ahead, Bill.
I did have a question. We have a virtual award ceremony next Monday. Are you guys going to not necessarily tell the kids that have placed what place they got, but are you going to inform them to come to the Zoom, or is everyone coming to the Zoom?
Well, so last year we expected everyone to come to the Zoom and I didn't inform, but I can inform this year.
Okay, well, mine is kind of a selfish thing. It's that I want to be there if my kids have done well, but it's Valentine's Day and I have other places I could be than to sit here and watch someone. Well, it's always, hey, if anyone's been in JNYO, we are always on Valentine's Day, usually at UAA. So the chance for me to actually be with my wife.
No, I understand. I will go ahead and make sure I inform, especially because it's Valentine's Day. So I should know Friday. I know there was maybe a couple videos straggling in, but I'll have to check in with Nicole, but I can inform ahead of time. It might be over the weekend, but just because Nicole is on vacation at the moment.
Is there any way you could, you won't know. Will you know who their coaches are automatically?
Yes, I do now this year. Last year, I didn't request the coach's email. And so that kind of made it a little bit harder for me when I was trying to track people down and I had the wrong emails and stuff. So I have everyone's coach email.
So if one of our athletes qualifies for that, could you let us know?
Yes, I can. I sure can. I'd be happy to. Well, does anyone else have any other questions? I think that would cover everything for 2 foot and seal hop then. I thank you guys for all being here. I'm happy. I hope you are able to take something back into your house with this, back home, and connect with us when you need. Nicole and I are available.